Well, it's me again. Yeah, it's me again. Is my thing on here? Yeah, I think it's on. Okay. Ah, got some things to say again. I'm here speechifying because I'm running for president of the United States, not some other country, but my country, United States. We call it America. We used to call it America. But it ain't America anymore. It's the great United States Empire. Empire. Yeah, biggest empire in the world. It's even bigger than Rome was. But it's dying, and thank God it is. I think God's bringing it down himself personally, using other means. He's not just stepping on it, but he might as well. If we don't straighten up, we'll be totally flattened. Come to God, folks. Anyway, don't want to get into religion here. That offends some folks. Some folks don't like Jesus, don't like God, don't like the Bible, don't like nothing. Some people don't like nothing. Yeah, there was a day I didn't like much of anything, but I got over it. We can get over stuff like that. We can study, we can read, we can listen to wise people. Not the newspaper, not the magazines, not the TV, not the radio, but the Bible's a pretty good book. Anyway, some of this is pretty much a repeat of what I did yesterday, but I added a lot of stuff to let you know what I'd like to do. And if I don't get elected, I'd like somebody else to do it. If there's an honest man in the country. Is there an honest man in the country? He's not in Washington, D.C., and he's not in any state house. He's not in the Congress, They just ain't there. They're all sold out. Anyway, things I will attempt to accomplish during my presidency. Like this, God willing. God willing, and the creek don't rise. But if the creek rises, it's God's will. So it's all if God willing. Because I'm prone to make errors, and if God sees me going to make an error, step up, please, God. Things I will attempt to accomplish during my presidency, God willing. Well, first order of business is to appoint men who will follow my orders to all the executive departments. I'll order these men to ask all employees to offer up their resignations. Sounds harsh, huh? But it's got to be done. We got a clean house. Those who refuse to resign will be placed on leave, pending searching out reasonable cause to fire their keisters. To fire them. Keep it clean, Lawrence. Well, this will be done according to all civil service regulations. We don't want to break any rules. We don't want a bunch of court cases. It costs money. As to civil service regulations, we're going to look at that. All rules and regulations will be re-examined and changed as needed. The goal of this will be to make the requirements efficient and in accordance with the requirements of what? The U.S. Constitution. Employees will be hired back or not at the newly appointed secretary's discretion. Now, I appointed this guy, and he should be smart enough to do it right. Okay, I will also appoint new directors to all federal agencies. Now, this a lot of work here. These men are to follow the same procedures as outlined for executive department heads. Fire and hire. And then I will immediately then set about finding ways to get rid of all federal agencies, which are not needed and are a hindrance to the economy and the life of a free and an independent nation and a free and independent people. Amen to that. So there may not be any left. No agencies to write rules and regulations to. All powers that have been relegated to the deleted agencies will be returned to the states where they should be, and the people where they should be. Next, I will order that men be found who are capable of being real diplomats to foreign countries. I'll order the diplomats to enter meaningful negotiations for peace, for other reasons, especially with all countries we have picked fights with. Then I'll order the Pentagon to close all foreign bases, bring troops home. Marines would, of course, remain at all foreign embassies as embassy security. Then in order to close all the borders, both north and south. North and south. Well, and the coast, ports. And we'll send them home. All the illegals will be deported. And we'll be fairly fair about this. They came in illegal, but they'll leave in better condition than they came. They walked up. If they came from Mexico, they can take a bus or train, whatever, back. If they came from some other country, we'll fly them or we'll send them by ship, whatever. We'll pay the freight. We sucked them in here with our ridiculous promises, and all the American NGOs, even some of them so-called churches, put out the money and sucked them in here. Fooled them all. Will pay their way back home. We cannot keep them. Okay. Then, because I have appointed the right men as liaisons with the Congress, we'll force through meaningful immigration laws, ones that make sense. This is where I'll begin. As for executive orders, I don't intend to be a dictator. We're supposed to be a republic. I bring back from the graveyard of history a republic. Okay, the IRS. Everybody hates the IRS except the government. Well, the government's going to be different, so we don't need it. The IRS will be eliminated. The nation will rely on tariffs and excise taxes. It once did, and it will again. Since we'll have brought the military budget down to an infinitesimal amount compared to what it is, to what it has been, because of our needless wars to prop up the wealthy elite that make all the bucks off the military-industrial complex. We'll need less revenues. Jobs. Manufacturing. It'll be returned to the nation. Beneficial manufacturing. Not the wasteful military-industrial complex sucking the tit of the government thanks to bribery of the Congress and the officials. Speaking of bribery, let's talk about bribery. No business, no union, no corporation, no organization of any type, whether for profit or non-profit, will be able to give gifts of any sort. No rings, no watches, no moolah. None of any sort to a government official of any sort, including the Congress or the president, any office. The finance sector. Do away with the Fed. Do away with the Federal Reserve. All powers given to it will be returned to the federal government where they once were, where they should be. Fiat currency will be ended. Currency and coinage will be backed by gold and silver, as it once was and as it should be. Interest rates, they will be brought down drastically by closely regulating what banks, other institutions may charge. There was a time when governments couldn't borrow money. They couldn't borrow at all because they couldn't pay interest. It's my wish to find a way back to that. It can be done. Staying out of wars, it's a huge part of it. And I wish everybody listening to my voice would do me a big favor, because I get tired of arguing with people about interest and usury. There are books, you can find them on the internet. Do a search, do a Google, do a whatever you use. Don't bother with the Microsoft one, no, it'll always lead you in a terrible direction. Anyway, do a Google. Find books on interest and usury. It's history from beginning to today. They're there. I've read them. It's very interesting. Bribery is not a bribery. No, that's certainly not necessary. Interest, usury. Call it what it is. It's usury. It's stealing. It's making money for doing nothing. You can't make money from money. I mean, it makes no sense. It's stealing. Yeah, I know I'm nuts. Like I told you, find the books, do a study of it. You find that it's not only unbiblical, ungodly, but it's stupid. One of the things that will be done when usury is done away with is this corporation garbage. Businesses are great. We need businesses. We don't need corporations. People can go in partnerships. Everybody puts money in. But today, they sell stocks. It's borrowing. They borrow money. They borrow money. They borrow money. If people don't need to borrow money, what's the need of interest for anybody? There's ways to get rid of it. It will take time. It'll take good common sense. But that's all I got for today. There's a lot more I got on my mind. A lot more I wish was on other people's minds. There seems everybody thinking about making some bucks somehow or other. I don't need them. I got a small Social Security check. God always gives me a place to live. If God don't give me a place to live, I'll go on the street and die, and I'll go home. I got nothing to lose. You don't either. You pilgrim, you got nothing to lose. If you die on the street, if somebody blows your brains out and robs you, what the heck? You're going home. Stew and fret. Stew and fret. What for? I spent a lot of years stewing and fretting until I realized it just ain't worth it. It's vanity. It's nothing. We're body and soul. Body and soul. This old body ain't but dirt. The soul, it's forever. It's for glory with God. Yeah. Pilgrim, we only realize who we are, what we are, who made us, whose we are, if we only would realize life is a lot easier. Life in this world, a lot easier. Anyway, when you get that ballot, put my name on it. God bless, Pilgrim. Have a blessed day.